Hey, it's Michael Larner, Larner Vineyard and Winery out here in the vineyard, getting ready for our fall shipment. And fall tells us it's time for harvest. So we're actually in the vineyard right now, putting netting out. Unfortunately, the fruit is so yummy and scrumptious that the birds want to come and eat it all. So we have to put netting out. So you can kind of start to see the guys are out there working right now, putting netting. And that's kind of one of the things that we do throughout the vineyard throughout the year. We have to protect the fruit from various insects or animals that come out. And this season's been very interesting. I think the last time I updated you guys was back in May. We had a lot of winter rains come through in March and April. So that built a lot of moisture up in the soil. And that did translate into what I was hoping, which is basically beautiful canopies. You can see behind me, large green canopies with big leaves that are producing photosynthesis, which ultimately means more energy for the plant, both in terms of fruit ripeness as well as storing energy for future vintages. So that bode really well for us this year. Pretty excited about that. And the fruit that we're seeing is optimal. It's a great fruit size. Berries are tiny, clusters are not super large, and we're seeing everything sort of going through veraison. And the only interesting thing or element to this year that was a little bit unpredictable, but we're farming, so I guess we have to go with that, is there's a delay in everything. So because of that cool March and April, we actually are tracking about 3 weeks behind a normal vintage. So normally we would be seeing veraison, which is the coloring of the fruit, in August. Beginning of August, we actually are just finishing veraison right now, which is beginning of September. So that puts us about 3 weeks behind in terms of a potential harvest date, which would be pushing mid to late October into November. So that should be fine in terms of California weather, as long as we don't get any weird rain early in the season. But I'm not worried about that just yet, because we also have a lot of heat still being generated throughout these summer days. So we kind of just keep an eye on everything, see how it's all progressing throughout the vintage. But so far everything looking beautiful, and the color of the fruit already is showing great propensity for phenolic ripeness, and flavor development is already starting. And a cooler vintage like this will typically see more tannins in the fruit itself. So thinking as a winemaker, probably a little less new oak on the actual aging of those wines once they finish fermenting. And then also we're looking at good acidity, and cooler vintages will have a lot more acidity. So those make those wines a lot more playful and a lot more vibrant. So the vintage so far has been shaping up really beautiful. The only major difference for us this year is we're tracking 3 weeks behind, which is kind of funny because I remember vintages in like 2008 and 2013 where we were tracking a full month early. So they kind of go and flow with you have to sort of adjust as your farmer. But we're kind of getting used to that variation. But otherwise, we're pretty excited about the vintage, and we're excited to share these wines with you. But not only that, I'm also excited to see you guys on October 15th at our little harvest party. So see you soon.